As you can see, there are many international programs in Thailand right now, starting since the kindergarten level until like bachelor degree, master degree, and also like the PhD programs. And I can see that there are a lot of problems between foreign teachers and also Thai students, or even between Thai teachers and foreign students in an intercultural classroom. So I was kind of interested to see why they had the problems and how to fix the problems they have. Actually, my research focuses on the theory called dialectical tension. So apart from language, did you know that in international program or intercultural classroom, everyone will have language barrier, and that is one of the big issues in the classroom. But apart from language barrier, I also take a look at dialectical tensions. And when I say dialectical tensions, I mean the turning points in the relationship. When you interact with somebody, or when you meet, or when you have like an activity with someone, you will need to have these tensions. And tensions are not the bad thing at all. Tensions are the turning points that would move you to another step of the relationship. So in the classroom, when teacher and students interact, or when the teacher teach and the students learn, they would have different kind of expectations, and that would come to the dialectical tensions. When I say dialectical tensions in the relationship, I mean in every kind of relationship, including in the relationship between teachers and students as well. So I would like to look at what kind of tensions there are in international classroom. The three dialectical tensions that I already mentioned, the first one, stability and change, is the tension between whether you want the classroom to be stable. Stability, stable. You want the classroom to be stable, you want the classroom to be fixed, or you want the classroom to be changed. You want the classroom to be flexible. For example, many teachers, they have course outline or the course syllabus because they want to plan ahead of time, whether they want to speak in the first week, second week, and to the end of the course. However, during the week, we also have some kind or the need of flexibility in teaching as well. And the students as well, sometimes some students expect the teacher to be very flexible in the classroom. They want the teacher to allow them to be late like 15 to 20 minutes, or always late, or didn't show up to the class, that would be okay. They expect that kind of thing. And within the same students, some students expect to have a very structured classroom. They want the teacher to inform them ahead of time of the assignment due and everything. So both teachers and students, we have this kind of tension, stability and change. We want both flexibility in the classroom, and we also want the structured or something that we can plan ahead of time. So this is the first dialectical tension that I found. And the second one, openness and closeness. The relationship between teachers and students. Many times the teacher wants to be open to the student. They want to share their personal life, or the students as well, they want to share their personal life to the teacher. So you can see that many teachers, we have what we call the teacher's pets. At the end of the class, the students will come and talk to us, telling us about their personal life, the family, the friends, and whatever the story that happened to their life. But some teachers, they don't want to be open. They kind of want to be close and stay professional. So this kind of tension happen as well between the relationship between teachers and students. So what they have to think about is to think about whether they should tell something, how much they should be open to their students, and how much they should be closed to the students. So this is the second dialectical tension, closeness and openness. And the last one that I found in the classroom is separation, dialectical tension. Separation, dialectical tension is when you sometimes you want to be very close to your students, and sometimes you want to be far away from the students. So you can see in the international classroom, if you teach international course, you will see the Thai students prefer sitting at the very back of the class because they want to stay distant from the teacher. While foreign students or students from Western culture, they mostly sit at the very front row because they want to participate much. But when Thai students sit at the very back of the row, it doesn't mean that they're stupid. It doesn't mean that they do not want to pay attention. But because of our culture, we have been raised up in this culture that we have to be humble, we have to keep quiet in the classroom, we should not challenge the teacher. So we kind of stay in the distance from the teacher. So the third tension, separation and connection, is one tension that we have in international classroom. From my research, I did find quite a lot of strategies that native English speaking teachers used and also the Thai students used to manage the tensions. And that could be one of the things that could bridge the gaps between cultures. I can give you some example of their strategies that they use. One of the maybe like the most popular strategy that they use in international classroom is, we call it selection. And selection is the strategy when a person chooses to, make one pole after the tension outstanding. For example, or the dialectical tension of stability and change that I told you, the first one. Dialectical tension of stability and change, some teachers just prefer to use only stability and they just ignore the change. So instead of switching between two poles or two tension, they just focus on one pole in order to manage the tension. For example, some teachers from my interview, they just admitted that they prefer the class to be structured in everything. So anything that is not stated in the course outline, they will never do it. So they will not leave any room for flexibility at all. If in the course outline they said the student can be late for 15 minutes, it has to be 15 minutes, not 16. If on the course outline said that the students will have the taste on week 11, it has to be on week 11. No postpone at all. So they will be like very strict. This is called selection. So when we select just one thing. Or for example, the tension, openness and closeness. Some teachers just select only one thing, which is closeness, for example. So they think that their relationship with the students have to be very professional, so they decide not to say anything personal in the classroom, not even giving example. The other strategy that they use, and it is very interesting, is we call it cyclical alteration. So they kind of switch between two poles depending on time. For example, one teacher just told me that the dialectical tension of stability and change, whether you want to be flexible in the classroom or not. What he says is that he kind of mix both depending on the time. If he gives the assignments to the student and the students have 1 week to finish it, he will be very, very strict with the grammar, English grammar, because he knows that the students have time to prepare for the assignment. They can use a dictionary. If they don't know the word, they can just look up from the dictionary, so they have time. So he chooses stability or not flexible in the classroom for assignments. But when it comes to the exam, he will be so flexible about English grammar because he understands in the classroom, in the exam, the student cannot bring the dictionary in. So he switched between stability and change depending on the time, right? Exam or not in the exam. And the other strategy that you use a lot, we call it segmentation. Segmentation is strategy when we kind of switch between two poles depending on the situation. For example, one teacher just admit that, he was trying to manage the dialectical tension, openness and closeness. So in the classroom, he would never say anything about his personal life. But outside of class, if the students come and talk to him, of course, yes, he will say. So depending on the situation, in the classroom, no way. He will only choose closeness. But outside of classroom, he will choose openness. So these are the strategies that we use, native English speaking teachers and Thai students use. However, how can we bridge the gaps in the classroom? I think that if we understand the difference, if we understand that people have different tensions, and if we understand that we can have options to manage it, that will be fine. The students can be the controller as well. I think that in the classroom, the students can speak, but maybe because I gave you some example from the teacher most of the time, but the students as well. Many students just, told the teacher, for example, one student just told me like, I want the class to be flexible. So I just directly, that student kind of managed two tensions at the same time, stability and change, and also openness and closeness. While other students decide to be closeness, not to say what they think to the teacher because we are in Thai culture, we believe that we should not challenge the teacher. So anything that the teacher says should be true, which is not the right one. But the student, he thinks that, well, if I think something, I should express it to my teacher. So I decide to choose openness. I decide to manage openness and closeness strategy by select only openness. So he was open to the teacher saying that I want more flexibility in the classroom. You say that I can be late for 15 minutes, but I think it's not enough because I have the class before and after the first class, I really need to go to the bathroom or something, do some my personal business. And then I need 20 minutes. Is that okay? And if the teacher think that, okay, he's open, he chooses openness, I will be open to the student as well. And the teacher think, okay, this is good enough. He has, reasonable excuse to come 20 minutes late. He will be okay. So the students can be the controller as well. So both of them, not only the teachers who control the classroom, but actually the teachers should be only facilitators. But the one who control the class or manage the class should be the students. Okay, one other thing is that I think that maybe foreign students, especially Western students who come from Western countries, they kind of get used to being close to the teachers after class. So it is very common for foreign students and foreign teachers to have coffee, after class. They can go and, oh, let's have a coffee. But for Thai students, it would be quite strange because for Thai culture, we look at seniority. Seniority is very important, so we have authority. Teacher is the only one who has the power. It is impossible for us to invite teacher for a coffee. It is impossible for Thai students. So if you compare the learning performance in the classroom, Thai students are more quiet, while foreign students, especially Western students, they are more loud and they speak up. But if you compare the score from the exam or the GPA, there's not that different. I think that maybe group work works well. In my classroom, I kind of want to mix foreign students with Thai students. So we have different kinds of group work, and in the group work, I want mixed nationalities so that they can learn from one another. Instead of having Western students in one group and Thai students in another group, I kind of tell my students, well, you have to mix, you have to work together with your friends so that you can earn more thoughts, you can learn from your friends from different nationalities as well. And I think that works so well. And because Thai students are so shy in the classroom, but when they work in group, they will produce an incredible work.